clean eating. You know, the idea that if your food isn't organic, raw, gluten-free, dairy-free, sugar-free, and blessed by a Himalayan monk, it's somehow bad. But here's the twist. Clean eating might actually be making you feel worse, not better. And today we're going to unpack why that is and explore a more balanced, more joyful, and a more real alternative. Real food and the 80-20 approach. So grab your coffee, your croissant, or your kale smoothie, whatever feels good today, and let's get into it. Health is messy because life is messy, but we rise anyways, like a phoenix from the chaos, chasing wellness that actually fits our real lives, mind, body, and soul. I'm Jolene, a nutritional therapy practitioner and fellow hot mess, here to flip the script on health. On Messy Wellness, we rise from the ashes, embrace the chaos, fluff those phoenix wings, and fly into wellness with grit, grace, and zero F skimming. Let's begin. Yo, let's start with the basics. What exactly is clean eating? It's usually defined as eating whole, unprocessed, natural foods, usually organic. Think fresh vegetables, lean proteins, whole grains, well, maybe, and nothing that comes in a box or has more than 5 ingredients. It sounds reasonable, right? But here's where it gets messy. Clean eating isn't just about nutrition. It became about morality. The word clean implies that other foods are dirty. And when you start labeling food that way, it's a short hop to labeling yourself that way. Did you eat a cookie? Oh, you're bad. Had a salad? You're good. It becomes exhausting. And let's be honest, clean eating has become a wellness aesthetic. It's not about health anymore. It's about performing health. It's about curated Instagram posts, expensive grocery hauls, and a sense of superiority that's quietly baked into the whole thing. So let's talk downsides and why clean eating can be harmful, because there's many downsides. For one, it's rigid and unrealistic. You know, there's a lot of people out there that say they do it all the time, but do they? Or do they just Instagram that they do it all the time? You see, clean eating comes with a long list of rules. No sugar, no dairy, no gluten, no processed foods, no fun. And while some people thrive on such structure, most of us live in the real world, where birthday cake happens, where you're too tired to cook, where sometimes you just want a grilled cheese. And then there's the whole fact that it's elitist. Let's be real. Clean eating can be expensive. Organic produce, grass-fed meats, specialty flours. It all starts adding up. And most of us, our budgets can't handle it. And not everyone has access to a Whole Foods or the time to make everything from scratch. Wellness should not be reserved for the privileged. It should fit into your budget and your time lane. Figuring that out is the key factor. And frankly, it disconnects you from your own body. When you're following all these rules instead of listening to what your body is telling you, you lose touch with your own hunger, your own cravings, and your own satisfaction. You start eating based on fear, not intuition. And oftentimes, when you ignore what your body's telling you, you go off the rails one day and dive headfirst into a pint of Haagen-Dazs. We need to reconnect with our body, not disconnect with a set of rules. And along those same lines, it can lead to disordered eating. There's a term for this, orthorexia. It's an unhealthy obsession with eating right. And while it's not officially recognized in all diagnostic manuals, it's very real and very damaging. Clean eating can easily spiral into guilt, anxiety, isolation, depression. You basically start that inner monologue that you're not good enough, you're not doing it right, you're not. And we need to get away from that, because true health is mind, body, and soul, meaning you're one whole being. So if your mental health is unstable because of your food or vice versa, we need to start bringing it all together and living a full life as a whole person, not parts. These are only some of the downsides, but I often wonder how clean eating got to be so rigid. We have clean eat for 7 days and do this and do that. But does it really do that? Not really. What we need to do is start stepping away from some of those rules. So what exactly is an alternative? We know wellness means we can't eat Oreos 24/7. But what's an alternative that's going to make us feel better without all those rigid rules that will fit into our life? So let me introduce you to something that's actually sustainable. Real food and the 80-20 approach. So what exactly do I mean by real food? I'm talking about food that nourishes you. It's not about being perfect. It's about balance. It's about eating foods that give you the nutrients and the fuel that satisfy you and that fit into your actual life. It's not about labeling anything. It's about how the food makes you feel. And the 80-20 approach is actually very simple. 80% of the time, you aim for eating nourishing whole foods, veggies, proteins, fats. The healthier, the more nutritious, the better. But they don't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be organic. It needs to be what you can afford in your budget, but that will give you the nutrients your body needs as those building blocks. And then 20% of the time, you give yourself full permission to enjoy the food you love, no matter what it is. There's a time in my life where I didn't understand this, but an obesity doctor had said, if you're at an event, a special occasion, and you want a piece of cake, have a piece of cake. And so many people think that undoes everything. But what it really does is gives you a solution to that craving, or without making you feel deprived. It leans on the emotional. Sadly, food often is tied to emotion. So if we placate the emotional attachment to the birthday party, the wedding, and that cake, it's done. It's over with. We had our 20% for the week. Done. So simple. It's not cheating. It's living. It's being flexible. And it's forgiving. And it's rooted in balance rather than restriction. We try to control so many things that are beyond our control, or that are actually harming us. The stress of being perfect is more harmful than the 20% that we're not. There's a reason why 80-20 has been floating around forever. It works, and it makes you feel better. And it's a mindset game changer because it removes the guilt. You're not bad for eating a cookie. You're just a human who enjoys cookies. Welcome to the club. The 80-20 rule also honors your cravings. Cravings aren't the enemy. They're information. They are telling you what your body wants, what your soul needs, and what might be missing. And I know there's a lot of people who want you to blot out the fact that you crave things that are necessary or what they deem bad or unhealthy. But we need to get back to food is fuel, and it's not good or bad, so that we don't go off the deep end. We need to take time to learn not to go off the deep end. But we also need to learn how to honor our cravings in a healthy way. And the 80-20 rule lets us do that. And I know we're talking about getting rid of rules, and now we're saying 80-20 rule, but it's a guideline. Let's take away the rule and call it a guideline. And the 80-20 guideline, it makes room for joy. Food, as much as we hate to admit it, is way more than fuel. It's culture. It's connection. It's celebration. And the 80-20 plan makes space for all of that. Oftentimes, many of us associate certain foods from our childhood as a way of our grandparents or our parents showing love. So we need to make room for all of the feelings that are attached for food, rather than saying it's just fuel, it's nothing more than that. Negate the feelings, separate them, break the bond. Yeah, we should find other ways of celebrating, but we don't need to give it all up. And by implementing the 80-20 plan, it allows you to build trust with your body. When you stop fighting your body and start listening to it, amazing things start happening. You feel more grounded, more energized, more at peace. You also will start feeling healthier because you'll be more in tune with things that your body likes and doesn't like. You'll see how the symptoms manifest. It's amazing to be in tune with your body and trust what it's actually telling you. Learning hunger signals, all of that, all ties back to knowing that you can have whatever you want and listen to what your body tells you in response to that. So here's a reminder. You don't need to eat clean, perfect food to be healthy. You don't need to follow a rigid plan to be worthy. You just need to eat in a way that feels good, honors your body, and leaves room for joy. Each week I'm giving you an affirmation, a mantra if you'd say, to help support what we're talking about. And this week I want you to repeat this, think on this, write it down, whatever you do with your affirmations. I nourish my body with love, not rules. I trust myself to make choices that support my well-being and my joy. And I want you to reflect this week. Ask yourself, what does real food mean to me? Not what I've been told it should be, but what actually feels good in my body and my life. And where can I invite more flexibility and joy into my eating habit? As we wrap up today, I have a couple of reminders. If you have a food allergy, please do not apply 80-20 to an allergy. 80-20 is meant for overall food that will not make you sick, as in send you to the hospital sick, or inflame your body so bad you can't walk. We'll go into this in the coming weeks, more and more and more. But I need you to remember that it's time for real food, real life, and real wellness. My friend, you are not broken or destined to be stuck wherever you're at. You are becoming like a phoenix rising from the ashes, stronger, lighter, and happier. Rise up, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for riding the Hot Mess Express with me today. If you snagged a nugget of wisdom, a laugh, or just felt a little more seen, my mission was accomplished. Remember, this podcast is for education and entertainment. It is not medical advice. Check the show notes for that full legal jazz. Until next time, keep rising, keep laughing, and keep ditching perfection like the outdated trend it is. Stay messy, my friend.